watching UATV News. My name is Ina Kosinska. Good evening. Investigation of the MH17 plane crash. The District Court of The Hague will begin hearing the case on the matters next year on June 7th. The court has already completed the pre-trial stage of criminal proceedings. Preliminary, the joint investigation team established that the Malaysian Airlines Boeing was shot down in the skies over Donbass on July 17 in 2014 from a Buk anti-aircraft missile system which belongs to the armed forces of the Russian Federation. 298 people died in this accident. 12,630 people have caught the coronavirus in Ukraine over the past day. Most of all new cases are in Kyiv, Zaporizhia and Odesa regions. At the same time, 12,866 people have recovered. How to recognize COVID-19 in 30 seconds. Dnipro students invented a mask that measures temperature, determines breathing rate and even oxygen saturation. All indicators are synchronized with the application in one smartphone. And, if necessary, sends the data to family doctor. Our correspondents found out the details.
58 breath, body temperature is 36.6 degrees, blood saturation 97%. 30 seconds of scanning and all indicators are read and synchronized with the smartphone. The idea came in April, when I started wondering how exactly one can diagnose coronavirus. But then I started creating a portable prototype model that could be used many times. Artem shared his idea with friends, students of the International Technology Lyceum. Together they began to develop the model. They took the usual cloth mask as a basis and attached to it sensors, which can work for up to 8 hours without recharging.
The idea is quite regular, which has helped the people save their lives.
With the help of such mask, a person can constantly monitor his health and, if necessary, send all the data to the family doctor at once. The inventors calculated, if smart masks are launched into mass production, it will cost no more than $18 per item. But for this, it needs to be improved and made more convenient, the creators say. The attachment to the mask will be placed here. Also in the place the sensor for the number of breaths and exhalations will be placed. Doctors are already interested in the invention. The team is going to make a separate project for them. There are risks for medical workers who help people recover and not to get sick. And they need special masks. Those masks can be created. Very soon students are going to present their invention at the international robotics competitions. Reported by Roman Smoler, Natalia Husak, UATV News.
If you cannot adopt a kid, become his or her friend. The mentorship program aimed at providing children from boarding schools with support and parental care is working in Odesa. More details in our next report.
Irina has an ordinary family, a husband and 2 children. She has her business, but despite the active life, she decided to also become a tutor for one of the students of the city boarding school.
Trusting relations between the child and tutor are very important, so that later it would be a trusting relationship to the world. The child agreed, and I was told that exactly this child agreed, but I was for communication with any child.
Any adult can become a tutor by passing a qualifying exam. Irina coped with it successfully. She and her 14-year-old ward saw each other very often before the quarantine and are already missing each other.
Of course, it's hard, and we miss each other. Unfortunately, there is no opportunity to see each other now, because the institution does not have the right to let us in during quarantine. These weeks we do not see each other, but we communicate by phone.
Psychologists say one shouldn't be afraid not to meet the expectations of the child.
Children are expecting something more if they are given the wrong information. If a person comes and says, "I came to help you, but I'm not your mother, I'm not your dad, you cannot be our son or daughter, but we can be friends, we can help you," the child perceives it normally.
In Odessa, the mentoring project is for teens who are preparing to leave the boarding school to start an independent life.
Unfortunately, many children are in boarding schools now, and they would like to have an adult friend who can always help and support in a very difficult moment.
After a child reaches adulthood, he decided whether he wants to continue communication with the tutor or not.
At the moment, there are 2 children whom we communicate with. One is 18, the other is 21. There are some options for help, but they are not material. Most often children ask for some kind of advice. It's very important. They feel the support of the community. This is a certain socialization of children.
At present, there are 6,000 children in 58 boarding schools in the Odesa region. Reported by Roman Smoler, Arsen Podosyan, UATV News.
A place where the homeless could get warm clothes and have a cup of hot tea. A hidden point was opened in Dnipro at the city center for social protection. The premise is divided into 2 rooms, a resting place where people can spend several hours, as well as the clothing bank. At the same time, the center can receive up to 30 people. During the first working hours, only 2 people came to warm up. More visitors are expected in the coming days, when the temperature is likely to fall below 0.
It is warm here, and I can have some hot tea with cookies.
Для пункта обогрева есть места.
There is enough space at the hidden point so that everyone could come here. Not only those whom we find on the streets and invite here. Those who just know about us come to warm up. Women and men who do not have heating at home visit us. They can have a warm and hot tea here. Traveling in Ukraine will become more comfortable. The Ukrzaliznytsia state railway company plans to purchase 100 new passenger cars. They are provided with climate control, USB sockets and vacuum toilets. The improved modifications of the Kushette, corridor and first-class cars were demonstrated to journalists, tour operators and passengers in order to take into account their wishes.
You can't put a big bag here. You know what kind of suitcases we have now. Conductor of the passenger car Ruslan Oskano shows how a U-54 Kushette car was modernized. The lockers for suitcases and skis are too small here, but on the other hand, new sockets appeared, the place to charge one's phone. It is also possible to warm up food here. Of course, a microwave oven is more convenient for us. There is also a refrigerator for passengers to put food. We can also make hot water. Vacuum toilets are a great advantage in order not to be close to the stations. Another plus for comfort is new roller shutters instead of rack curtains. But passengers will have to climb on the top shelves like before. As for me, the access to the upper shelves is not that convenient. Any metal part is the possibility of either injury or tearing clothes. This thing is strange a bit. The compartment carriage for 40 seats also has a coffee machine, microwave oven, individual USB sockets and air conditioners. The handrails on the upper shelves will protect passengers from falling. In such cars, Ukrainians are already traveling to Uzhhorod and Novoalexeyevka. The improved versions will be developed on their basis. People who often travel to the Carpathians say that there is not enough place for bicycles. Unfortunately, we cannot change this in these old cars, but we can issue a technical assignment for the next year. Representatives of Ukrzaliznytsia say that they are willing to modernize all the rolling stocks, which is almost 3,000 cars. They hope for state support. The park is so old that even now we have 5–10% of passenger cars with wooden frames. This means that there can be even snow inside. There are many security issues as well. We want to install cameras in the new cars. Ukrzaliznytsia does not inform which cities would be the destination of the new cars next year, but officials promise that passengers on the busiest routes will be the first to ride in comfort. Reported by Roman Smoler, Svetlana Sich, UATV News.
The Bethlehem Holy Fire was given to the LVIV doctors. The journey of the shrine, delivered every year on Christmas Eve, started in November. The Austrian Scouts sent the fire to all locations of Europe as part of the so-called Scout Relay. And through Slovakia and Poland, it has arrived to Ukraine. Representatives of the largest Ukrainian Scout organization, Plast, sent the consecrated icon lamp to one of the Lviv hospitals where patients with coronavirus are treated.
The members of Plus have been spreading the Bethlehem Holy Fire in hospitals, government institutions, orphanages and among the military for more than 20 years. And this year is not exception. That's why we came here to give this fire of love and kindness to our doctors, who are of great importance now, during the time of the pandemic. They are our defenders.
We have a chapel on the second floor, where always a lot of people. You know, in despair, a person first goes to God. There we will light this fire on Bethlehem so that it can warm the soul of everyone who comes there. They are knitted wooden in the form of bagels and sweets. The variety of Christmas tree decorations is so great that even the most demanding buyers will be able to find the unique decorations for a New Year's beauty. It is for them the exhibition in Kiev is held. Our correspondent has also visited the holiday of New Year's toys.
3 exhibition halls of New Year and Christmas attributes from 40 Ukrainian masters, artists and collectors. Victoria comes to the exhibition for the 5th year in a row to get her New Year mood.
Каждый шарик создает праздник.
Each ball makes a celebration mood, and drawings here are patriotic or just an ornament is fine. It's a really good work.
There are many alternatives to traditional glass balls. These are bajels, nuts, gingerbread and candy. Indeed, until the middle of the 18th century, Christmas trees were decorated only with edible decorations. And also toys, knitted, woven from straw, made of cotton wool and wooden. Craftswoman Natalia Morozova created 30 items specially for the exhibition.
Сама техніка виконання це
The technique of painting these elements is traditional, but other colors are used as well. Because I wanted, for example, to show a kind of winter range. It should be colder, so I used blue colors, while the Petrokivka design is usually yellow, red and green.
One of the trends in Christmas tree decor this season is also with toys from the home collections, together with handmade decorations. Single-color balls are not in fashion.
інтересно наблюдати.
It is interesting to watch the process. Now the design of the Christmas trees has changed a little, and these all things touch the soul.
Люди, які стали навпаки більш чуйними,
People, on the other hand, have become more sensitive to each other and try to support each other. What mood you have, so is the Christmas tree.
The holiday atmosphere of the exhibition is complemented by paintings of Ukrainian artists, eminent masters and young talents. The exhibition New Year Toy Holiday will last until December 28. Reported by Roman Smoler, Olena Diduch, UATV News.
That's all for this hour. More updates on our official website, YouTube, Twitter and Facebook pages. Stay safe and good night.